fourth graders again surprised us in 2012 by closing the achievement gap. In fact, students who are economically disadvantaged performed better than those who are not in 2012 in mathematics. So something happened in 2012 for fourth graders that helped close this achievement gap in both subjects. However, in 2011 and 2013, we still see the gap existing. Again, we see the gap in fifth grade between students who are economically disadvantaged and those who are not. Those who are not are on the top with the red line across the board in all the 3 years. Let's summarize the observations that we have from the segregated data. We see some strengths. We see that fourth grade students who are economically disadvantaged performed as well or better than those who are not in 2012. So we've done something right that year, and we probably need to go back and dig deep to see what this strength was and build on it. However, we have a major concern here that there is a consistent achievement gap between students who are economically disadvantaged and those who are not across the board in all subjects, in all grade levels, and consistently over the years. So this is an area of concern. To summarize, based on all the observations that we had from the aggregated data, disaggregated data, we see that there are two main problems here. Academically, we need to pay attention to our fifth graders and their performance in both English language arts and math because of the drop that we saw in 2013. It was a major drop, and this is probably our biggest alarm academically. Regarding the achievement gap, like I said earlier, we need to focus on students who are economically disadvantaged and see how we can help them. This is probably the biggest achievement gap that we have, or the achievement gap that's most consistent across the board. Another level of analysis that we can benefit from is the strand or domain data. And we do have strand domain data in mathematics. So let's take a look at our fifth graders' performance in 2013 because this was an area of concern. And we actually identified this as one of the problems that we need to improve on. So this graph here shows us their performance in all the domains or the strands, and we see that they performed 70% proficiency in 3 areas: estimation, percents, and factoring, algebra and functions, measurements, and geometry. And the lowest area in which they performed is operations with fractions and decimals. And this is a big concern, not only because students performed low in this area, not only because this affected their overall performance in 2013, but also because operations with fractions and decimals is a very fundamental skill that students will need to carry on with them to middle school, and we want to make sure that they're successful in applying those skills. So again, to summarize the observations for the strand domain analysis, the strengths are that our students actually performed well in 3 out of the 5 categories, or the 3 out of 5 mathematics strands. And our area of concern here is that they performed worst in operations with fractions and decimals. Now that we have all these observations from all these different types of data analyses, we need to start making inferences about the causes of these problems that we've identified. We need to ask ourselves these questions. Why did the performance of our fifth graders drop significantly in both English language and arts in 2013? What was missing in the curriculum or in the instructional strategies that led to the drop in the performance? We also need to think, why did they specifically perform poorest in operations with fractions and decimals? What happened that year that caused them the struggle? And we need to think about the causes of why our low SES students perform significantly worse than those who are not. Once we identified some initial causes, there are next steps that we need to do. First, we need to consult other data sources uh, because our inferences are not reliable unless we verify those causes using other types of data, maybe using item analyses or examining student work. We also need to verify the causes by considering what research says and see if those causes are actually valid by research. Once we have verified our causes, we need to start creating an action plan where we generate solutions or strategies to solve the problem. And then we implement and monitor this plan and make sure that we're actually achieving results. Otherwise, we might need to make some modifications to the plan. So those are the next steps that we need to take once we have identified our inferences or the causes of the problem. Now it's time for questions, comments, and concerns. Please don't hesitate to share them so we can work together on improving our school. Thank you.